If I had a year with Cody, I'm not sure I would have married him, honestly.
Ooh.
So I might have seen him for a little bit more who he was, you know what I mean? Gotten sort of off the charm route.
The night was supposed to be quiet, just a low-key dinner, a few familiar faces, and maybe a moment for Kody Brown to finally look like the calm, in-control patriarch he keeps claiming to be. But according to diners who say they witnessed the whole thing, it didn't take long before the tension at the table snapped. And no, it wasn't just the usual icy silence between ex-wives. This time, it was Robyn, reportedly loud, visibly upset, and clearly not interested in playing polite anymore.
It's like serendipitously beautiful. It's like all of a sudden, there's nobody but us on the dance floor. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking to her like we've known each other our whole lives.
Multiple sources allege that the incident went down at a restaurant not far from Flagstaff, somewhere the Browns have been spotted more than once. The staff recognized them, the other diners certainly did, and while the menu might have promised rustic charm and family-style portions, what the crowd got instead was a front-row seat to a real-life sister-wife standoff, with Robyn allegedly losing her cool over what insiders are calling a look. Yes, a look, directed at her by a young waitress, who by some accounts may have been trying to figure out the relationship dynamics at the table.
I'm used as a word, but maybe he felt used too. Like we'd just use each other. It didn't mean anything.
Was it like?
Maybe just apathetic. Probably apathetic. It was kind of like, I guess this kind of have to. Maybe there was just a need, just a physical need that was met.
It's happened before. Confusion about who's married to whom, especially now that only Robyn remains legally tied to Cody. But Robyn allegedly wasn't having it this time. She stood up, like literally stood up, claimed one witness online, and she said something like, "I am his wife. That's me. Don't look at her like that." The her in question is unknown. Some think it might have been Mary, who was seated at the other end of the table and hadn't even made eye contact with the waitress. Others think Robyn was reacting to the server, simply acknowledging a different wife first. Either way, the moment wasn't subtle. It was loud enough to cause heads to turn. One person eating nearby described the air as ice cold with a side of awkward. Another said Cody just sat there, not saying a word until he did. That's when, according to two separate Reddit accounts, Cody apparently leaned in, voice raised just enough to carry, and said something that left the whole table stunned. "We deserve some respect." He allegedly snapped, "We come here all the time. Treat us like it." That line, of course, didn't land the way he probably hoped. Instead of commanding admiration, it reportedly drew side eyes and stifled chuckles from nearby tables. One diner claims a man at the next booth muttered, "Who does this guy think he is?" under his breath. The waitress, meanwhile, looked shaken, apologizing politely before retreating to the kitchen, possibly in tears. To fans who followed the show for years, this alleged moment felt like a long time coming.
Janelle suggested I buy her out. I'm like, how? I don't have that kind of money. I don't know the answer well enough to be able to move on it, but I got these two exes going, I want this, let's do, what are we doing, what are we doing? And I'm like, I don't know. So they're nagging me, which is great because I just got two ex-wives who were total nags, now nagging still.
Robyn's been walking a fine line between peacemaker and power player for a while now, but insiders whisper that something's shifted in the past few months. Her tone, her posture, even the way she interacts with strangers in public. It's like she's finally stopped pretending to be the nice one. One production source supposedly told a blogger. Now she's just owning it, all of it. But that might have been the exact moment Cody snapped too. Not just at the staff, but at the idea that anyone might challenge their authority in public. And the more people around them turned to watch, the more it seemed to trigger something deeper in him. One eyewitness said Cody's voice grew louder, not softer, as he demanded basic decency from everyone. But it wasn't lost on anyone that this same man spent the last few seasons screaming about betrayal, sulking about loyalty, and turning his back on 3/4 of his family. What kind of respect does that buy you? And that's when it got even messier. If there was one line that seemed to echo through that restaurant long after the plates were cleared, it was this: "I am Cody's wife," not whispered, not mumbled in embarrassment, said aloud with full conviction. That was the moment, insiders say, when even the people seated at Robyn's own table started to squirm. Because it wasn't just a clarification, it was a claim. And the way she said it, according to two diners who allegedly witnessed the scene, felt more like she was staking territory than correcting a simple mistake. One woman described Robyn as suddenly tense, jaw set, eyes locked on the waitress. She said it like she was warning her off.
I guess the thing is, since he had decided he was already out of the relationship, and since he never loved me anyway, I think any communication at all would be considered a nag.
The witness wrote in a Facebook post that's now making rounds in Sister Wives fan groups, like the poor girl had dared to look at Cody too long, or too kindly, or just not in the way Robyn approved of. Another diner claimed that Robyn followed up with, "The other woman you saw, she's his wife too, or was." That second part is what reportedly made the rest of the table go stiff, especially Mary, who was seated not far down the bench, fork halfway to her mouth. According to the same diner, Mary didn't say a word, but her face said everything. For years, viewers have speculated that Robyn didn't truly want the plural life she signed up for.
Back in 2014, Cody and I did do a legal divorce. And for me, that whole process was purely for the fact that he could then marry Robyn legally and then adopt her 3 older kids. But our spiritual marriage, our spiritual ceiling was still intact. When we marry, it is for eternity. Like, that's the intention. So once I had that terminated or released, that means it's done. Like, there's no bound that keeps us together for eternity. So Cody and I are no longer married in any way, shape, or form.
Some believe she used it as a stepping stone, strategically placing herself into a family structure that was already fraying at the seams. And now, with Christine, Janelle, and even Mary all out of the romantic picture, Robyn's the last one standing, legally married, living under the same roof, enjoying the benefits, and according to this dinner witness, reminding everyone of it. She looked at the waitress like, "How dare you not know who I am," said a third source. She wasn't yelling, but she was intense. Too intense for a casual dinner. It's the kind of moment that sounds small if you read it on paper, but in person, it felt loaded. Like years of resentment and scrutiny all came bubbling out in one sharp statement. And the ripple effect didn't stop at that table. One couple at a neighboring booth said they overheard a staff member venting in the back. "I don't care who that man is. We're not here to bow down to drama queens." Ouch. And here's the kicker. Cody didn't try to diffuse any of it. In fact, according to those at the scene, he nodded. Not dramatically, but just enough to show he backed her up. "She's had to deal with a lot," he allegedly muttered to no one in particular. "You people don't get it. You people." That didn't help his case, especially considering this wasn't a high-end VIP dinner or some backroom table with privacy curtains. This was a public meal in a small town where the Browns are already known and not always loved. Insiders whisper this isn't the first time Robyn's made pointed declarations about her status in public, but this time, it was louder, clearer, and more defiant than ever. Like she's done playing along with the illusion of shared marriage and equal footing, this time she wanted the whole room to know she's the wife now, the only one that matters. And the question hanging over every forkful after that, who exactly was she really talking to? Something has shifted in Robyn, and fans are starting to say the quiet part out loud. That restaurant incident didn't come out of nowhere. It was just the latest crack in a pattern that's been widening ever since the other wives walked away. Sources close to the family say Robyn's behavior in public has changed, not overnight, but noticeably. Where she once stayed soft-spoken, playing the peacemaker, she now allegedly walks into public spaces like a woman who owns the narrative, and maybe even the man. Insiders whisper that since Mary quietly announced her separation from Cody, Robyn's posture has changed, shoulders back, head held higher, and an air of finality that wasn't there before. It's not the same Robyn we saw crying in season 17. One crew member allegedly told a former PA on the show, "This version is confident, sharp, and always watching, like she's guarding something she thinks is hers alone." And in a way, maybe she is. With Cody no longer sharing a household with Christine, Janelle, or Mary, the weight of his attention has landed squarely in Robyn's lap. But instead of softening into the role, she seems to be clutching it tightly. Fans have noticed it too. One viral Reddit thread dissected Robyn's recent behavior at a community event where she allegedly corrected a volunteer who greeted her as Mrs. Brown by responding with, "the Mrs. Brown." Whether or not that story is true, it's become symbolic of how some viewers now see her. Not just as Cody's favorite wife, but as the one who wanted to be the only wife. And as that restaurant moment proved, she's not afraid to say it out loud. It's the territorial energy that's throwing people off. Robyn used to pride herself on being gracious, even deferential, talking about how much she respected the sister-wife structure, how she never wanted to cause pain. But the woman who stood up at that table and declared her marriage status didn't look like someone trying to protect anyone's feelings. She looked like someone drawing a line in the sand. And if the waitress hadn't picked up on who Robyn was, well, Robyn was ready to make sure everyone knew. This possessiveness isn't just about titles, it's about public perception. Robyn has spent years carefully curating her image as the one who wanted the family to stay together. But now that the family is effectively shattered, she's left holding both the power and the blame. And it shows. One fan wrote, "She's not even pretending anymore. She wants to be the only one."
This is my first Valentine's Day since I got married to David. I've always been a romantic, always wanted a romantic Valentine's Day, but as a polygamist, it's not really a polygamist holiday.
Another added, "She's got the ring, the house, the man, and now she wants the respect that comes with it, no matter how she gets it." But what does it mean when that respect has to be claimed instead of earned? And what happens when people start pushing back against the performance? Because while Robyn might be leaning into her role as the one true Mrs. Brown, the ghosts of the other wives aren't staying silent, and the next move she makes could backfire in a big way. For years, fans debated it, whispered about it, watched the micro expressions, and dissected every hug, every glance, every teardrop, real or otherwise. Was Robyn really Kody's favorite? Or were viewers just seeing what they wanted to see? Well, after that dinner blow-up, the debate didn't just reignite, it exploded. Because when Robyn allegedly stood up in the middle of a public restaurant to declare her status as Kody's wife, it didn't read like a clarification. It read like a coronation. And for a fan base already bitter about the unraveling of the Brown family, that moment hit like a slap. She finally said what we all knew. One fan wrote under a viral Instagram post, "This was never about family. It was about winning." That's the phrase that keeps resurfacing. Winning. It's how Christine once framed her own departure. Walking away from a dynamic where she constantly felt like a low-priority background character in someone else's love story. It's how Janelle described the emotional hierarchy that quietly settled in over the years. And now, with the dinner confrontation making rounds across fan accounts, it's how the audience is describing Robyn's latest moves. Triumphant, smug, and a little too rehearsed. It didn't help that, according to one alleged onlooker, Robyn gave the waitress a condescending smile before sitting back down, like she'd just set the record straight, and didn't mind if the whole restaurant heard it. That detail, while unverified, has become symbolic of something deeper. It's not just what Robyn said, it's how she owned the moment, the body language, the tone, the audacity. For viewers who once tried to give her the benefit of the doubt, it felt like the final reveal of a role she's been playing all along. And here's where the backlash really sharpened. Some fans now say Robyn's entire grieving the plural marriage act is nothing more than image management. She's only crying because the narrative got away from her. One commenter posted, "She's not mourning the family. She's just upset we're seeing the real her now." That real her theory has taken on a life of its own online, with fans combing through old footage, calling out contradictions, and rewatching key scenes with a new lens.
On your birthday, you
I'm not
gotta
a
be my
princess.
special princess. We're gonna have such a beautiful birthday. Day, mostly so that she'll move there. If you move to Flagstaff, it'll be your birthday every day.
Suddenly, what once looked like vulnerability now reads as calculation. Even some longtime defenders of Robyn are going quiet. It's hard to argue she's misunderstood when she's allegedly shouting down waitresses in public and demanding recognition like she's royalty. The dynamic has shifted, and fast. In the early seasons, Robyn was the new wife trying to fit in. Now she's the last one standing. And while Kody might frame that as loyalty or destiny, fans are calling it something else: entitlement. There's a reason that quote, "I'm Kody's wife" hit so hard. It wasn't just factual, it was final. A punctuation mark on years of subtle favoritism and passive aggression finally bursting into the open. And maybe Robyn thought it would be empowering. But for everyone watching from the outside, it felt more like confirmation that the family they rooted for is gone, and the woman left behind doesn't seem too heartbroken about it. But while Robyn was busy staking her claim, she may have forgotten one thing: TLC cameras were rolling, and what they captured next might just flip everything upside down.
I mean, Mary wanted to fit in and belong and be part of a family, and she was hoping and hoping for so long that everything would be okay because she was being told by Robyn, "He still says he loves you." It's bull. Whatever.
If Robyn thought the moment would blow over, just another awkward blip in a long family saga, she may have underestimated one crucial detail. TLC was watching, and not just watching, filming. According to whispers from production insiders, that now infamous dinner was part of a scheduled shoot for the upcoming season. The crew was already on location, cameras were positioned nearby, and although the staff may have looked surprised, the producers, allegedly not so much. One anonymous crew member reportedly told a Sister Wives fan account, "We've been waiting for something like this. We just didn't think it would be so public." That's the twist no one saw coming. For over a decade, Robyn has enjoyed what many fans have dubbed the soft edit. While Christine, Janelle, and even Mary were often portrayed in all their raw, tear-streaked humanity, Robyn frequently appeared polished, measured, and conveniently tearful, just when she needed to be. But this restaurant incident, if it really was caught on film, might be the moment the edit flips. Because even TLC can't ignore the demand for realness anymore.
Is he unkind to you?
Yep.
This is Mary's experience. Cody, of course, says what he says.
Yeah, so because of that, I protect my space, like my space, my energy, and what surrounds me is very important to me, and so I protect it, and I won't have somebody in there who messes with it.
And if Robyn's mask slipped in front of the cameras, producers might not have a choice but to show it. Insiders claim the network has received mounting pressure from executives and fans alike to stop protecting Robyn's image. Ratings are still strong, but comments on TLC's socials have taken a sharp turn. Every trailer, every teaser is met with backlash about Robyn's screen time and favoritism. One high-performing post had dozens of comments reading, "Robyn edit again?" and "We're done pretending she's innocent." And producers allegedly are starting to listen. According to one source close to editing staff, there's serious debate about whether to air the full confrontation or chop it up into something more neutral. They're worried about her image, the insider shared, but they also know what fans are asking for, the truth. And that truth, raw and unpolished, might finally make it to air. Because even the most carefully curated character can't survive a mic'd-up meltdown in public. The stakes here are bigger than just one awkward dinner. If the network does air the footage, it marks a turning point, not just for Robyn's reputation, but for the entire franchise. Fans are already buzzing about a potential Robyn reckoning arc in season 19, and if TLC is smart, they'll lean into it. Because love her or hate her, Robyn's fall from grace is the most compelling drama they've had in years. Still, some insiders warn that Robyn and Cody may try to intervene.
Will you accept me as monogamous?
Yes, I'll always stick with him and I love him. This is not what I wanted for my life.
I'm done. I'm not going to fix it with Mary. I'm not going to try and fix it with Janelle anymore. She's done with me. I need you to let that go and not hold it against me.
Allegedly, the couple has expressed concerns about narrative control before, asking for certain scenes to be softened or left out entirely. But if they try that now, it could backfire. The audience isn't just suspicious anymore, they're angry. And nothing fuels a fandom's fury quite like the feeling they're being lied to. What the cameras caught that night may finally give them what they've been demanding all along. Proof, not just of Robyn's status, but of her shift from the misunderstood wife to the one pulling the strings. And if the edit doesn't protect her this time, viewers might be in for the most explosive season yet. But as the footage rolls and whispers about damage control grow louder, there's one thing no one saw coming: Cody's own voice rising above it all. It was only a matter of time before Cody opened his mouth, and when he did, it wasn't to calm things down. It wasn't to smooth over Robyn's icy tone or offer the waitress a polite apology. No, according to multiple accounts, Kody Brown did what Kody Brown does best when he feels cornered. He exploded. Witnesses say the moment the energy around the table began to fray, he leaned forward, eyes flaring, and said loud enough for half the restaurant to hear, "I deserve respect." It wasn't a request, it was a command. And judging by the stunned silence that followed, it didn't land the way he wanted it to. A few diners reportedly stopped eating mid-bite. One couple allegedly asked their server to move them to a different table. He didn't yell. One person wrote in a now viral Reddit comment, "But it was the kind of voice you use when you want to remind everyone in the room that you're the authority, even when no one asked." Sources say Robyn visibly flinched when he raised his voice. Not dramatically, not in fear, but in that embarrassed, secondhand cringe kind of way. Because even she couldn't spin what he just said. He didn't say "we deserve respect." He said "I," and that distinction didn't go unnoticed. Not by the staff, not by the audience catching wind of the story online, and certainly not by the former wives who know that tone all too well. It's the same tone Christine described in her breakup confessional, the one Janelle referenced when she said he talks at people, not to them. And now strangers in a restaurant were experiencing that same energy firsthand. One employee reportedly told a friend after the shift, "He acts like we should be grateful he came in, like we're lucky to be near him." Whether that's exaggeration or not, the impression is clear. Cody wasn't asking for decency, he was demanding obedience. And what makes this outburst even more uncomfortable is the context. This wasn't a tense family counseling session. This wasn't a private disagreement behind closed doors. This was a public dinner in a town where the Browns are already infamous, where staff were just doing their jobs, and where diners had simply come to enjoy their evening. Yet there was Cody, turning a minor misunderstanding into a showdown for dominance. Fans online were quick to connect the dots. It's like he's trying to reclaim control of something that's already gone. One Redditor posted, "He lost 3 wives, his kids barely speak to him, and now he's barking at waitresses?" Others pointed out how telling it was that Robyn didn't jump in to support him, not the way she normally does. She sat back, quiet, lips pressed in a thin line, almost like even she didn't know how to defend that moment. Which raises the question, was this dinner Kody's breaking point? A desperate man lashing out not because of a disrespectful look, but because he's watching his legacy crumble and doesn't know how to stop it? Was all the talk of respect, what came through most wasn't dignity, it was insecurity, and maybe that's what rattled Robyn most of all. Because if even she can't keep him composed in public anymore, what else is slipping out of her control? Christine wasn't at the dinner, that much we know, but somehow she managed to make herself the talk of it anyway, without saying a word about the confrontation itself. It was the timing that did it. The day after the incident allegedly took place, Christine posted a photo to Instagram. Just her alone, sitting in a sunny corner of her kitchen, holding a slice of pie and smiling like a woman who just won the lottery. The caption? Grateful for peace and pie. That was all it took. Within minutes, the comments section lit up like a bonfire. She knew, one user wrote, "This is pure shade and I'm here for it." Others called it a mic drop moment, a silent sermon, and the classiest takedown we've seen yet. Whether Christine meant to address the dinner drama or not, the timing couldn't have been more precise, and the internet decided it was no coincidence. This isn't the first time Christine has posted what fans consider coded messages to Robyn and Cody. After the infamous season 17 split scenes, she shared a quote about walking away from people who chip at your peace. During the tell-all aftermath, she uploaded a photo with her daughter Truly, captioned, "Some people bring sunshine, others bring clouds. You get to choose." And now here she was again, still smiling, still unbothered, while the internet swirled with stories of Cody demanding respect and Robyn allegedly snapping at waitstaff. It's the contrast that makes it sting. Robyn and Cody are reportedly spiraling under public pressure, facing growing resentment and online mockery. Meanwhile, Christine's glowing. Her skin looks great. She's got a twinkle in her eye that fans haven't seen in years. She's engaged. She's cooking. She's dancing. She's posting videos of her grandbabies. And every time she shows up online, it feels like she's reminding everyone, you can survive Kody Brown. You can even thrive. One commenter summed it up perfectly. Robyn's screaming in a restaurant and Christine's out here making cinnamon rolls. We see who's winning. The fan base isn't just rooting for Christine. They're practically holding a parade in her honor. Her quiet confidence has become a rallying cry, especially for women who've been in similar situations. She doesn't need to clap back. Her life is the clap back. And make no mistake, Robyn sees it. Sources claim she still follows Christine's account, even if she doesn't engage. Whether out of curiosity, competition, or something more complicated, she watches. And that pie post, if it wasn't aimed directly at her, it might as well have been. Because in the Sister Wives universe, peace is political. And Christine's brand of soft rebellion is hitting harder than any dinner table declaration. But while Christine may be basking in her post-Cody glow, the backlash toward Robyn was only just beginning, because fans weren't just angry, they were compiling receipts. And what they uncovered next left the internet fuming. Once the story broke, the internet wasted no time sharpening its knives. Within hours, the details of the dinner debacle were dissected, reposted, memed, and stamped with the digital equivalent of a collective eye roll. Reddit threads ballooned with hundreds of comments. TikToks popped up comparing Robyn's alleged outburst to her infamous Sobbin' Robyn persona. And the general consensus? Fans were done playing nice. She snapped like a teenager, one post read, not a grown woman, not a mother, not a public figure. Just pure entitlement with a side of drama. Others chimed in with scathing observations, calling her energy mean girl in a maxi dress, and accusing her of treating servers like extras in her spotlight. Even more brutal, a fan edit that stitched together all of Robyn's past claims about being shy and peace-seeking with a fake voiceover that read, "I'm just here to cause peace," and apparently scream at waitresses. It went viral in under 24 hours. But it wasn't just the snark, it was the pattern. Fans began compiling past moments, clips, and quotes where Robyn's words didn't seem to match her actions. Her tearful pleas for unity cut against scenes where she quietly encouraged Cody to spend more time with her kids. Her insistence that she never wanted legal status over the other wives played alongside the moment she eagerly signed the paperwork. And now her sharp public correction, "I'm Cody's wife," was being treated like a Freudian slip the size of a billboard. On Reddit, a super thread titled "Robyn's Real Personality Caught on Camera" quickly gained traction, gathering screenshots, timestamps, and fan theories. One user wrote, "You can't hide who you are forever. We're seeing it now. No more soft edits, no more TLC cover-ups. This is who she is when she thinks no one's watching." Another commented, "Christine walked so Robyn could unravel." The sentiment was clear. The honeymoon phase between Robyn and the audience was long over, and now they wanted consequences. The backlash wasn't limited to Robyn. Cody too came under fire for his alleged tone and inflated ego. Imagine demanding respect from a waitress when you don't even give it to your own kids, one fan tweeted, racking up thousands of likes. Others dragged him for letting Robyn speak for him, only to swoop in and double down on her outrage like some outdated medieval king. It painted a picture of a couple who weren't just disconnected from reality, but actively hostile toward anyone who didn't play along with their version of it. And while the couple reportedly kept quiet publicly, behind the scenes, sources say they were rattled. Robyn allegedly felt betrayed that the moment had leaked. Cody, meanwhile, is rumored to have called a private meeting with TLC producers about narrative sensitivity going into the next season, but it may be too late. The audience has made up its mind. And just when things couldn't seem more damning, an insider from production dropped a revelation that left fans speechless. Because according to them, this wasn't even the first time Robyn's temper had flared in public. Just when fans thought they'd seen it all, a new rumor sent the fandom into a frenzy, and this time, it wasn't from a neighbor or a bystander at dinner. It came from inside the machine itself. A source allegedly connected to Sister Wives production dropped a quiet but explosive whisper to a long-running TLC gossip blog that this wasn't Robyn's first public blow-up. In fact, it wasn't even her second. The source claimed that moments like the infamous restaurant confrontation have happened before, more than once, and that TLC had actively chosen not to include them in past seasons. Let's just say the cameras have seen more than what's aired, the source allegedly said. It's not new, it's just the first time it happened in front of the wrong people. That chilling quote was enough to light up every fan page, podcast, and Reddit thread with speculation. What else had Robyn said off camera or on camera but on the cutting room floor? How long had producers been shielding her image? And what would the show have looked like if those clips had made it into the final edit? It wasn't long before old interviews and behind-the-scenes footage were being reanalyzed for clues. Fans pointed to awkward silences, clipped confessionals, and choppy dinner scenes where the tension felt unresolved. One popular theory suggests that Robyn once snapped at a production assistant during a season 15 shoot when a camera crew parked too close to her house. She doesn't like surprises, the alleged crew member posted years ago under a now resurfaced comment. If things aren't perfectly planned, she gets real cold, real fast. Another moment fans now suspect was scrubbed involved a birthday celebration scene where Robyn barely spoke. At the time, viewers thought it was a quiet night, but now, some think the silence may have been stitched together after a bigger scene had to be cut. TLC has always had to tiptoe around Robyn's moods. One fan wrote, "They gave her the golden wife treatment, but the cracks are showing." And the truth is, they are showing. Because the more fans learn, the more they question everything. If Robyn's image was carefully managed by producers, what else about the show has been shaped to fit a specific narrative? How much of Cody's favoritism was subtle editing, and how much was just the network keeping things tidy to avoid viewer backlash? And most of all, how long did Robyn get to benefit from a soft-focus lens, while the other wives were edited raw and messy? The answer may lie in season 19. If the crew really did catch the full restaurant outburst, and if producers are finally ready to show it, we could be in for the biggest image shift in the franchise's history. Because fans aren't just angry, they're ready to reclaim the narrative. They've spent years watching Robyn cry, whisper, and play the innocent bystander. But now, they want the real footage. They want to see who she is when she doesn't know the camera is still rolling. And if TLC delivers on that promise, Robyn may not be able to spin her way out of it this time. Because in the wake of all this damage, one question now hangs heavy in the air. Is the Sister Wives family even salvageable anymore? The Browns were never perfect, but they were compelling. A tangle of personalities, faith, ambition, heartbreak, and hope. For years, fans held on, rooting for someone, anyone, to come out the other side stronger. But after that dinner table debacle, the lingering question isn't just about Robyn's behavior or Cody's ego or TLC's editing choices. It's bigger than all of that now. It's about whether there's anything left of the family they built the show on in the first place. Because when a man has to demand respect in a public place, it means he's not receiving it at home. And when a wife feels the need to declare her position like a battle flag in the middle of a restaurant, it means the power she's clinging to might be slipping through her fingers. That night didn't just expose a petty outburst, it exposed a system collapsing under its own contradictions. The plural marriage is over, the dream is dead, but what's been left in its wake is something far colder. A couple circling the wagons, building a moat of entitlement around their dysfunction, and daring the world to challenge it. Christine's pie wasn't just dessert, it was peace, hard-earned and savored. Janelle's independence, Mary's quiet exits, and re-entries, they all represent what it looks like to walk away from chaos without losing yourself. And now Robyn and Cody sit alone at the head of a table no one else wants to join. They have the house, they have the name, but do they still have the audience's empathy? Or even each other's? Insiders claim things behind the scenes are tense, that filming has become more complicated, that conversations that used to be warm and open are now controlled, tiptoed around, or cut short altogether. It's like walking into a fortress, one source allegedly said. You can't get a straight answer from anyone anymore. And maybe that's the clearest sign yet that what we're watching isn't just the unraveling of a family, it's the slow implosion of a brand built on sharing, now hoarding secrets instead. What comes next is anyone's guess. Will TLC air the footage? Will Robyn address the backlash? Will Cody ever understand that respect can't be forced? It has to be earned. Or are we looking at the final act of a very public unraveling, where the last two standing finally realize they've won a battle, but lost the war? So now we want to hear from you. Do you think Robyn's behavior at the restaurant is a one-time slip, or a sign of who she's really been all along? And is there any way for Cody to rebuild trust with fans, or have they both burned that bridge for good? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because this saga is far from over. The next video on your screen is waiting, and trust me, you won't want to miss it.